Sugar prices are coming down these days. In fact, they're hitting 11-year lows.
In this week's Bottom Line, TWILA's Neil Melancon tells us before cane harvest kicks off in the next few weeks, farmers are facing some tough decisions.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry.
In just a few short weeks here, this sugarcane is going to be ready to be ripened and then harvested. It's been a good season so far for sugarcane with that early wet summer we had, and even though it's been dry here lately, we've gotten a few sprinkles across South Louisiana that's made this cane grow pretty tall and green. What hasn't been so good for sugarcane lately, though, are the prices.
The sugar that will be harvested this year will be coming into a world market situation that's pretty tough. There are sugar gluts in many of the top sugar-producing countries, and we've had a number of them trying to dump their sugar onto our market here at home. We've had higher prices compared to the world market price, mainly because demand has been strong and we've had to import sugar to meet that demand. In fact, the importation plus stronger domestic production has caused prices to slide over the past year from where they were. We're now hovering around 24 cents per pound, which is better than this time last year, but still off from earlier in the year when we saw it as high as 27 cents per pound. What does that price really mean, though? The answer is it depends on the crop and overhead costs. Fuel and fertilizer have come down somewhat, which has been helpful. The hot, dry weather lately hasn't affected the crop too much. We're not really at a critical point. However, we still have a long way to go before harvest. Sugarcane farmers aren't worried so much about the weather now as it will be at harvest time. Wet weather there can delay harvest and make it a mess, which will drive up the amount of fuel used to bring it in. Further, a drop in sugar content there at the end will mean a lot of tonnage wasted.
The bottom line is, until this cane is harvested, we're not going to know the sugar content inside these stocks, and that's what makes determining the break-even point of these prices so difficult. Many farmers fear we're already past that point right now. For This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Neil Melancon. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Neil. Speaking of sugar, it is one of the many commodities being discussed at the Trans-Pacific Partnership Conference being held right now in Hawaii.
According to Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry, Dr. Mike Strain, one of the sticking points is Australia demanding access to U.S. markets for their excess sugar production, something Strain says will drop already low prices.
But when you start looking at the rest of the world potentially dumping sugar, you also have to look at what else is there as far as government subsidies to their sugar growers. And so we have to be very cognizant of these overall trade deals because sugar is $1 billion entity here.
In addition to sugar, Strain says dairy issues were a major hang-up for the TPP negotiations.